Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Yeah, glad to be back.
This time we're going to be tackling a question that I think a lot of people have probably thought about.
Mm-hmm.
Why do people stay poor?
Yeah,
We're going to be looking at a text actually called Why Most People Stay Poor.
right.
And we're going to be, kind of dissecting some of the key takeaways and what we think about it.
Looking forward to it.
Now, this text is really fascinating to me because it takes a different approach than I think a lot of other sort of sources on this topic.
Yeah, it really does.
I think we hear a lot about, systemic issues and lack of opportunities.
Right.
But this text is kind of saying maybe, just maybe, their real barriers are actually internal.
It really emphasizes this idea of mindset.
Mindset.
Like wealth starts in the mind before it ever shows up in your bank account.
Yeah, and I think that's such a powerful concept.
Absolutely.
Because it really puts the onus on the individual
Right.
to really examine their own beliefs and behaviors.
It's about taking ownership
Right.
of your financial situation.
So what exactly does this text say about the differences in mindset between, let's say someone who's struggling financially
Sure.
versus someone who's wealthy?
Well, the core message is that the poor tend to concentrate on spending, depleting their resources, while the rich prioritize investing, which multiplies their resources over time.
So it's not just about how much you earn.
Right.
It's about what you do with what you earn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about building a system that works for you rather than against you.
I like that analogy.
It's like instead of just working for money,
Yeah.
you make your money work for you.
Make your money work for you.
Exactly.
That's good.
And this is where understanding the difference between spending and investing becomes crucial.
Okay.
Spending is consumption focused.
Right.
You buy something, you use, it's gone.
Right.
Investing, on the other hand, is growth oriented.
Got it.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Spending is like eating a seed. You get a quick burst of energy, but it's gone.
Right.
Investing is like planting that seed, nurturing it,
Okay.
watching it grow into something much bigger.
But instead of a plant,
Exactly.
it's your wealth that's growing.
Precisely.
I like that analogy a lot, actually.
It's a good visual.
It is.
It helps to kind of solidify the concept.
Yeah, because, sometimes these financial concepts can feel very abstract.
Right.
But when you can ground them in something that's tangible, like, planting a seed,
Absolutely.
it makes it a lot easier to understand.
It's real.
But I do have a question. We're talking about investing
Yeah.
and not spending.
Mm-hmm.
But what about folks who are living paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah, that's a great question.
They're just trying to make ends meet, put food on the table.
Right.
How can they possibly even think about investing when they're just struggling to survive?
You're absolutely right. And the text acknowledges that it's not suggesting that people in that situation should suddenly start pouring money into the stock market or something.
Right.
It's more about starting small,
Okay.
shifting your mindset gradually.
Got it.
Even if you can only save a tiny amount each month,
Yeah.
it's about developing that habit of putting something aside for the future.
So even small changes compounded over time can make a big difference.
That's the idea.
Okay.
Small, consistent actions driven by a growth mindset.
And this is where the text's advice about acquiring assets comes in, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So let's talk about assets.
Sure.
Because I think this is a term that gets thrown around a lot,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure everyone really understands what it means.
It can be a bit confusing.
Yeah. So in simple terms, what is an asset?
An asset is basically anything that has the potential to generate income or appreciate in value over time.
Okay.
So some common examples would be stocks,
Okay.
bonds,
Uh-huh.
real estate,
Mm-hmm.
owning a business,
All right. Yeah.
intellectual property like a patent or a copyright,
Oh, interesting.
even something like a blog that generates income through advertising.
Oh, wow. So it doesn't have to be like, a huge corporation or a giant piece of property.
No, not all.
It can be something that you create yourself.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The key is to understand how different assets work,
Right.
their risk profiles,
Yeah.
and how they align with your individual financial goals.
So it's about finding what works for you
Exactly.
and diversifying your investments.
Right. Diversification is key.
Okay. So let's talk about that for a second.
Sure.
Diversifying your income.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly does that mean?
It means creating multiple streams of revenue.
Okay.
So instead of relying solely on your job, you might start a side hustle freelance or build an online business.
Give me some examples.
Sure. So let's say you're really good at baking.
Okay.
You could start selling your cakes online or at local farmers markets.
Okay.
Or maybe you have a knack for writing. You could offer freelance writing services.
Yep.
There are so many possibilities these days.
So it's about being a little bit more entrepreneurial in your thinking.
Exactly.
Even if you have a traditional 9-to-5 job,
Right.
you can still have these side hustles.
Absolutely.
And create multiple streams of income.
It's all about leveraging your skills and talents.
Okay, I'm with you there.
Good.
But I'm still kind of stuck on this whole wealth mindset thing.
Sure.
Like, how do you actually cultivate that?
Yeah. It can seem a bit abstract.
Yeah, it feels very intangible.
But it's really not as elusive as you might think.
Okay.
It starts with education.
Okay.
Invest some time in learning about personal finance, how money works, different investment strategies.
Any resources you recommend?
There are tons of great books and websites out there.
Good.
One book I always recommend is The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins.
Okay.
It breaks down complex financial concepts in a very clear and accessible way.
So knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Surround yourself with people who are financially savvy.
Successful,
Oh, yeah.
their mindset and habits will rub off on you.
That's a good point.
And perhaps most importantly, focus on delayed gratification.
Oh, that's the hard part.
It is.
Resisting that instant gratification.
But remember, building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint.
That's a good way to put it.
It's about making small, consistent steps over time.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today. From shifting our mindset to acquiring assets, diversifying our income.
Right.
It's really about taking control of your financial future.
Absolutely.
And it all starts with that internal shift.
With the right mindset.
Yeah. So to kind of wrap things up,
Sure.
I want to leave our listeners with a question to ponder.
Okay.
If you were to invest in one new skill right now to boost your earning potential,
Okay.
what would it be and why?
I love that question.
Think about it. Explore your options and start planting those seeds for a more abundant future.
That's great advice.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive, everyone.
Yeah. It was a pleasure being here.
We'll see you next time.
See you then.
Bye.